All right, Frank, thank you very much. You've been very busy here. I think you've run as far as these horses are going to run today here. Well, it's almost ready. The horse is just about to move into that starting gate. The weather is perfect, and we're just waiting for a fine horse race. CBS Sports Prediction, Secretariat to be first, Sham second, and Our Native third. Exactly the order in which they finished the Kentucky Derby. And now let's go to Woody Broun up around the starting gate.
They are now walking around up at the turn at the starting gate. It's been placed in position. Starter Eddie Blind has got so much information about these horses. He still has a letter from the trainer of Secretariat's father, Bold Ruler. That was old Sonny Jim Fitzsimmons saying, please be careful with this horse. He has a tender mouth. And the assumption is that Secretariat has inherited that tender mouth. And Dan Fitchett, who is the particular assistant trainer, is going to handle him. We'll take that into account. Naturally, Sham is going to be handled by Eddie Blind's nephew. Eric has got a tender mouth because 2 teeth were knocked out of it in the Derby 2 weeks ago, so he must be handled carefully. But all the horses have been gone over by the starter as to their personalities. How do they like to go in? Do they like to be led into that? Some of them will like to go in by themselves. Very possibly Torsion will be allowed to go in by himself, but there is an assistant starter for each one, and they are now pretty close to the back of the gate coming down. The first one you can see there is Sham, who has a stable pony with him and seems calm, considering that he was kicked and hammered. No, he was hammered, had his head hammered and lost a couple of teeth. He seems to be taking it calmly, and now you'll see that Eric Blind is taking him by the bridle and leading him in. Others are waiting in case there's any trouble. Now, Deadly Dream, one of the long shots, is going in, and the next to go in will be Secretariat, and when he does, which should be in just a moment, he likes to lean against the back of the gate, which makes him start slowly, and they'll be careful with him. And now, as Secretariat goes in, he doesn't even want to go in the gate, let alone not lean against the back of it. With 3 horses in, I'm going to give this to Chic Anderson, who'll call the race for you.
Our Native now into the gate. We're waiting for Torsion. He's in and now moving into the starting gate. We're about ready to go as a colletage will complete the field on the outside. They're all in. They all seem to be standing well. Sham straightens up a little. Secretariat bobs his head. We're still looking, and they're off for the early lead. That's Deadly Dream on the outside, a colletage. Then it's also Torsion on the outside. They're coming by us. It's a colletage getting it, and he's still moving away by about 2.5 as they pass the stands. Settling into second, Torsion. Sham has good position, third on the rail. It's another 3 lengths back, Deadly Dream. Then Our Native and Secretariat is last again as they move into the first turn. They're into the turn. A colletage has it by 2 lengths. Torsion second by a length, and then Sham third. Sham under an easy hold right now. But here comes Secretariat. He's moving fast, and he's going to the outside. He's going for the lead, and it's right now he's looking for it. Ron Turcotte sends him alongside a colletage. Here we have it. A colletage is the leader, but Secretariat is right alongside. Then still further back, that is Sham now going to the outside in third. We're moving down the backstretch. Secretariat holding it by a length and a half. Here comes Sham second on the outside now. Now it's Secretariat the leader by a length and a half with Sham moving into second. And it looks like a colletage has had it, dropping back in third. Coming on in fourth is Our Native, and he's pretty close. Torsion fifth, and a trailer way back is Deadly Dream. They're on the turn, and here's the race, folks. Secretariat trying to hold it, and Sham is driving to get him. These two are beginning to open a few lengths as Our Native settles into third, and he has about 3 lengths on a colletage. Head of the stretch, Secretariat, 2.5. Sham under a strong left-handed whip, and he's making his run now, but it's still Secretariat holding on. Secretariat by 2 lengths. Sham driving second. There's a strong left-handed whip again by Tinkai. He goes to it time and time again, but Ron Turcotte has his whip put away, and Secretariat has him put away. He's beginning to draw away. It is Secretariat. He's coming to the wire. He wins it by 2.5, almost 3. Sham an easy second. Our Native third. A colletage fourth. Deadly Dream fifth, and Torsion is sixth. And it was a powerhouse race again by the big, strong Secretariat, who made a very, very swift move on the backstretch, took the lead surprisingly. And here is Mrs. Tweedy, who has just won the second of two very important races to her. Secretariat has now won the Kentucky Derby and the Preakness Stakes, and this time he did it the same way. A tremendously effective run. Now here they are, Sham, and watch that left hand of Pincay's, and he can really hit one. But Sham can't handle him. Ron Turcotte just looks over his shoulder and says goodbye for today. It's no race from here to the wire. Turcotte never went to the whip that I saw anyway. If it was very early in the race. He definitely did not hit him in the stretch, and he was drawing away at the wire under a hand ride, winning it by over 2 lengths, make it 2.5. Sham was also very easily second. Here's the time of the race, 1:55, and that is not a new track record. It's 1 second away from Canyon Arrows.
Well, there's the horse. It has 2 legs on the Triple Crown, and after this today, it looks like we're very close to one, Frank. I don't want to jinx anything, but what a move he made, and early.
Jack, Cusimano got caught trying to steal second. The first half mile was very, very slow, and Turcotte figured it out, and he went after him and took away that false slow lead. It would have been amazing if he'd have gotten away with it, but he didn't, and Turcotte made an early move, so it was an honest race from there on.
Then it became a question of had he enough to hold off Sham, and we know the answer to that now.
He did it handily. What a brilliant effort, and Sham had no excuse, put on a game effort that he doesn't have to be ashamed of, and I don't think he can beat this fella for a while.
Secretariat, winner of the Derby and now winner of the Preakness, Ron Turcotte, who won here on Tom Rolfe, and of course a disappointment last year on Riva Ridge in the rain, now has vindicated that at least. And we'll be talking, he'll tell us all about it here in a few moments, why he made the move and how the horse was. Of course, we know the answers to that already. The horse was great.
I think another factor in Turcotte's strategy, and he may verify it when we get to talk to him, he didn't want to be in a position of losing ground on a turn. And with the slow pace, the lead and the rails suited him to avoid that.
Well, you know, I thought that École Taj was kind of a mystery. Nobody knew whether he'd go speed, but Buddy Delp rather indicated that they were going out for it, didn't he?
And his rider used his head. He didn't need it. He was in front hard held, but Ron caught him at it.
Well, all right, coming down Victory Lane now. Secretariat to get the Black-Eyed Susans, which, as you all know by this time, are daisies dyed black in the middle. And $129,000 more into the coffers. And another victory for this splendid, splendid horse, whose father, Bull Ruler, won here. And here, tossing his whip, getting a fine round of applause. We have all the Baltimore Colt band surrounding the horseshoe here. Their colors blue and white, the same as Meadow Stable. Here's Lucien Lauren leading the horse in, and a happy Lucien Lauren, a happy Ron Turcotte, and the Tweedies will be not far behind. There go the Black-Eyed Susans, and he's much calmer than he was 2 weeks ago in Kentucky when they threw the roses on him. He's just standing there now. Mrs. Tweedy here, and Mrs. Tweedy's sister, and Mrs. Ham, who was Mr. Chenery's secretary. Mr. Tweedy. And I don't know, Frank, would you say 2,000 photographers?
That would be a very conservative estimate, and they seem to sense greatness, Jack, don't you think? They're an enthusiastic crowd and not as well controlled as this fine thoroughbred is.
A record crowd of 61,000 here today at Pimlico for the Preakness, and a record crowd of photographers. This horse has the kind of personality that reaches out, however. He got a round of applause as he walked down to the saddling area.
You notice in the Derby, Jack, he was disturbed by the flowers, and that one experience was enough for his intelligent manner.
Very well mannered today, isn't it?
Certainly didn't bother him today.
His handler, Eddie Sweat, the handler there.
Turcotte headed for the scale, Jack.
Ron Turcotte is lost somewhere in the crowd. I believe he's going to weigh out in. Hello there! He's been up here so many times now.
That was Irv Grinfield.
4 out of the last 5 Triple Crowns, and he knows exactly what the situation is as far as our needs are concerned, Frank.
I don't think we can do a rerun without him, Jack.
So, as we await now for Ron Turcotte to come up here and do the rerun with us, we'll be back with that in just a moment. All right, it's official now. Secretariat paying $260, $220, and $210. $220 and $220 and $220. They're the prices.